So now I'm going to touch on liquidity. Um, Again, as far as the SEC is concerned, the Reg A Plus is a public offering, and the investors are allowed to sell their shares right away. Not to say that they will, but they're allowed to. You are not required to list your securities when you do a Reg A Plus, but obviously listing them provides, or excuse me, stating your intention if and when the following circumstances occur to list on an exchange gives the investors higher comfort that they have a reasonable view to liquidity. So someone who's loving the company and will invest more if they have a reasonable view towards future liquidity. Yeah. So, it's worth knowing that. That helps make it easier for people to invest. Obviously, you can provide direct liquidity in special circumstances if you prepare the offering for that to investors, but that's complicated enough that I don't generally recommend it. It's better to use a listing arrangement. The types of liquidity options, excuse me, let me see my notes here. Yeah, good. So, and other issues around liquidity, I've said earlier, up to 30% of the capital raise can go to insider selling. The completion of a Reg A Plus provides liquidity to all shareholders in the company as long as the company isn't locking them up and as long as the owners of those securities have owned them to satisfy long enough to satisfy their Rule 144 holding period. So if you have 6 classes of preferred, because this is your 7th round, you've got 6 prior classes, all of those investors are technically made liquid and are allowed to sell their shares unless you lock them up. So everyone's liquid, right? Obviously, many companies will restrict that liquidity and phase it in over time, but that can be lovely for companies that have made successive rounds of investments over a long period of time. They want to provide typically liquidity to their investors, and Reg A Plus provides that liquidity. Once your offering is once you're live with it, you are now a liquid company, and then it's a matter of what do you list, which security you choose to list, because you're not going to list 6 different classes of preferred. It would be too expensive. Um, you're not required to list. You can do a direct listing. I'll get into that. And I've mentioned that this is a public offering, and that's why the audit requirements and the other risk factors and other items are needed in the Reg A Plus filing.